So, Comic Universe, we got some late night news that is kind of spreading like wildfire right now, and I decided to talk about it. So we are finally getting Matt Reeves' Batman film next year, or is it? I think it's either 2020 or 2021, but basically we are getting it finally. I thought this project was dead. I just thought this thing was just not gonna happen. But yeah, I guess Aquaman kept Matt Reeves in the success of Aquaman has kept Matt Reeves in there. And yeah, however, we've also got some news that apparently Ben Affleck has officially stepped down from the role as Batman. He is no longer the DCEU's Batman. And yeah, I kind of figured I've kind of figured for the longest time. In fact, I already thought Ben Affleck already officially stepped down. Like a year ago, I thought, he already stepped down. That's how much, I cared about it. Because I thought, I thought this was already news. I didn't think that this needed to be said again. But I was like, I guess I was wrong. I guess this is official news. I guess he didn't officially step down until now. So, Ben Affleck is out, so that means there's going to be a hunt for a new Batman. Although I've got this sneaking suspicion that they wouldn't announce this unless they had someone in mind. So I've got a sneaking suspicion that either come in next week or sometime next month, we're gonna get an official casting for Batman, for a new Batman. That's what I think is gonna happen. Is that they wouldn't announce this unless they already had someone in mind. It's kind of like for in the Han Solo movie where they announced, Chris Miller and Phil Lord were taken off the project when it wasn't even finished, and then a few days later, Ron Howard was announced. So I got a feeling they wouldn't announce this unless they already have something in their back pocket already. Like there's already been casting already. So either they're already in the hunt for a good Batman, or they're in the search for. Or they've got someone in mind, what I meant to say. That's either one of the two things. So I would not be shocked if, come sometime February, I've got a feeling that February is where the best place we'd see it, that we would get an official notice of who is the new Batman. If not, probably March. Because again, they wouldn't say Ben Affleck's out, already, and then at the same time announce a Batman movie. Like you would think that they would announce the Ben Affleck thing would be out, and then they wouldn't announce the Batman thing until they were for sure had a Batman for the Batman movie. So again, I've got a pretty good sneaking suspicion that they either A, have someone, or in the hunt and getting close to having someone for Batman. So, that's my 2 cents. That is pretty much my 2 cents on the matter. So, look, Batfleck was even I was rooting for Batfleck when it was first announced. But yeah, I was not the biggest fan of BVS. If you are, that's totally fine. I mean, if he had better stuff to work with, I feel like Ben Affleck could have been an excellent Batman. He could have been a great Batman if he had the right material. And I was all set for what he could have done for writing a Batman movie. So, yeah. I would have liked to seen him with better material. Not with BVS and Justice League. Again, if you like those movies, totally fine. Not trying to say you don't, I'm not trying to say you're dumb for liking them. I'm just saying, not a big fan personally of those films. But I saw potential in Batfleck, in Batman's, Ben Affleck's portrayal as Batman. There was some major potential in there. Like, that fight scene is straight out of goddamn Arkham City. And yeah, there's also some moments, but I feel like Snyder, and I've talked about this before, is that I feel like Snyder was trying to do an original story, but at the same time couldn't help but try to adapt Dark Knight Returns at the same time of trying to do a Superman movie and a setup for Justice League. So, yeah. Honestly, I also think that if Zack Snyder just did Batman Dark Knight Returns, if he would just did that and not try to make it a Superman Batman movie as well as a setup for Justice League and just did straight up Dark Knight Returns, he would have killed it. I think, honestly, Snyder, some of his best stuff is when he's adapting something. Because he really gets the source material But this was kind of but BVS was a clusterfuck on on almost every level. Again, if you like those movies, Justice League, BVS, totally fine. But yeah, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to bash you for it. I'm just saying, me personally, wasn't a fan. But I've always held hope for the DC Universe, and Aquaman's given that hope, and I still got hope for Shazam, as well as the Joker origin movie. Hell, I'm mildly interested in Birds of Prey. Granted, that See You Soon, whatever the fuck that was, didn't really instill me with a lot of confidence, but I was like, I'll give it a shot. That was my train of thought. I was like, I'll give it a shot. Because it was just like, it felt like it was a commercial. It felt more like a Super Bowl TV spot than anything else. In fact, I got a feeling that this was meant to be for the Super Bowl, but that DC didn't have a lot of faith in it, so they just put it out online. That's what I feel, what happened. Anywho, what else was I going to say? Getting back to this. So, according to Matt Reeves, is that this is going to be like a true detective story. This is going to be like Batman, in his younger years, in a detective-type storyline. And that's cool! We hardly ever get Batman being the detective in the movies. We hardly ever get that. But to see it as a full-on detective crime story, that's totally awesome. I'm totally down for that. But the thing is that I'm wondering, who are you going to get to play Batman now? I mean, Affleck's gone, and yeah, you're probably, and this is supposed to be Batman in his younger years, or somewhere close to that. I've got a feeling that that might change, but I'm curious to see where that goes. I'm curious to see where they're going to take that. Now, for my 2 cents, I've got 2 actors in mind of who I would fan cast as Batman. Those 2 actors, and again, they've been talked about before, so I'm not the only one who's brought this up. The 2 actors I think of when I think of who should play Batman, number 1, first and foremost, Karl Urban. I've said Karl Urban would make a great Batman for the longest time. Most of you guys would know him best as Judge Dredd. He was also Executioner in Thor Ragnarok. He was also in Lord of the Rings. He's done a lot of character roles, but I definitely think you'd also remember him as Bones from the Abrams Star Trek universe. I really think Karl Urban would kill it as Batman, but I think he might be a little too old to play the Batman they have in mind for this. But when they say Batman in his younger years, that could mean a lot of different things. There are so many ways to interpret Batman in his younger years. Like, younger years could easily be 5 years or 10 years in the past. And again, it's comic books. I think you could take some liberties. But yeah. So Karl Urban, I've always thought that he would make a great Batman. He could definitely play the gritty hero. He's definitely got the voice for it too. I don't know, like, just when he talks, I can just imagine him saying lines as Batman. So Karl Urban, definitely first and foremost. The other is also, funny enough, my pick for Wolverine whenever the X-Men show back up in the MCU. And that is Richard Armitage, who most of you guys would know best as Thorin Oakenshield from The Hobbit. He's also been the voice of Wolverine in the Wolverine the Long Night podcast series, the audio drama from Marvel, which I think is actually being adapted into a comic book now. Anywho, again, I think he might be a little too old to play, but Armitage, again, you can just hear it in his voice that he would make either a good Wolverine or Batman. I personally, if I could choose between the two, I'd say Wolverine, not just because he voiced Wolverine in an audio drama, but because just even before he got the role of Wolverine, voicing Wolverine, like when I saw him in The Hobbit and a few other roles he's had, I was like, yeah, you would make a totally awesome Wolverine. But anyway, keep in mind, guys, I am not the best guy when it comes to fan casting. I am not the go-to guy for fan casting. So this is just me spitballing. So those are my 2 picks. So you guys tell us here at the Universe, who would you have to play as Batman? Who should be the next Batman now that we no longer have Ben Affleck? Just comment below, let us know. Once again, if you're new here, remember to Hulk smash that subscribe button and be a part of Earth's Mightiest Subscribers. I'm DPZ, and we will see you right here once more in the Universe.